us think we know what to do when it comes to wedding etiquette, but we are about to find out from etiquette expert Diane Gottsman how many of us are actually wrong.
That's right. So our first question actually comes from Lucia Lura, and she writes in and wants to know, she says, my daughter's wedding is coming up, and you probably have had this happen to you. Your wedding's coming up. She says the invitations are out. People are asking if they can bring a guest or guests. So is that an I do or an I don't?
It's an I don't.
It's an I don't.
It's an I don't. Don't ask. If the name is not on the invitation, do not ask, because it puts the bride and groom on the spot. You know, they only have a certain number of seats, a certain budget, and by asking, it makes everyone feel uncomfortable.
What if you have children and they just put Mr. and Mrs. Stein?
Right. Then what?
Yeah, that means no children.
Oh.
So how does the bride get out of that? What does she say?
So what she says is, or he, you know, depends on who they're calling, or the mom, you know, they might be calling the mom. You would say, you know, I understand you want to bring your +1, but unfortunately, we just have a limited number of seating, and thank you for understanding.
Right.
You know, now
if them in advance.
If for some reason they're in a committed relationship, they've left out a spouse, you know, and it might be an oversight. So in that case, you can say, listen, my husband was left off the.
My husband for 50 years.
So that's
meaning to tell you, we never really liked him.
So it's really the answer.
Well, wait,
and I don't.
Okay. All right. So we have some questions here to see how, if you guys think you know or you don't.
Chime in with the I do.
You think you do? I do is right. I don't is not. Okay. So here it is. If you don't attend a wedding, you don't have to give a gift. A gift is for those who are actually going to the wedding reception. Is this an I do or an I don't?
I don't.
I don't.
Don't.
I don't.
You
have to.
You have to, and you have 365 days to do it.
I have.
Whether you go to.
You don't.
You don't?
Not a year. You haven't done a year.
That's what I was.
These are two. No. So if you are not
invited,
attending the wedding,
but you're invited,
you can still give a gift.
But do you have to?
You really should. If it's a friend or family member, you should. But you don't have 365 days.
Why?
That you have a month. I'm going to say you either send it early, you're not at the wedding, so send it afterwards, because 365 days,
Miss Manners,
and then I see you and I have lunch or dinner with you, and I still haven't given you the gift.
Oh, that's
and
rude.
It's now 4 or 5 or 6 months into it, and you're thinking,
and you're like saying congratulations on the expectant baby.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
That's rude. Okay. So if you can't have a large wedding, you can invite people to a wedding shower to help celebrate your big day. I do or I don't?
I do.
If you can't have a large wedding, you can invite people to a wedding shower to help celebrate.
So if you can't invite all the people because it's too expensive,
can you invite someone to a shower if you don't invite them to a wedding?
Absolutely.
No.
I don't think
so. If they're invited to the shower, they should be invited to the wedding.
But you could have
that's a Southern thing too.
Wow.
So, in other words, you know, if you're asking me for a gift for the shower, I should also be included on the wedding.
But isn't it incredibly rude? Like, if you can't have, I mean, you want to include everybody.
Well, then get together with them and take them to dinner, you know, or go out to dinner with them. But don't invite them. So I'm going to invite you to my birthday party, but I'm not going to invite you to my big bash with the rest of my
You're right. Yeah.
But you can have like a cocktail reception or something for people that can't come to the wedding.
But
just not a shower
call it a
specifically.
shower.
Not a shower.
Oh, I
Can I just not invite Kim Douglas to anything?
Well,
we'll answer that when we come back.
I'm
I'm just saying. We have a million questions. It is wedding season, weddings month, especially here on Hallmark Channel. So here's a question for you. This one kind of got me, so listen up because it's a little tricky. The gift should cost the equivalent to the price of the meal at the ceremony.
At least.
So if the meal is $100, does that include alcohol?
It's not my rule. It's the question.
Okay, the question. Remember, the gift that you give should cost the equivalent of the meal that you're being served.
I want people know that.
That's right.
If you want to know that, some things have romantic
So it's I don't.
values.
No,
Don't.
it's I don't.
Thank goodness.
You should not worry about how much the meal costs. Buy the gift based on what you want to give them.
Okay.
That is kind of
How
rude.
much the
Going to
meal
like
costs.
Waldorf Astoria for like, you know, you do want to get a substantial gift, right? If you're going to maybe
Something
Who
that
are you
you
joking? You're kidding. You're never going to the Waldorf Astoria.
Oh my! Put your crown on. Now this one I like.
Yeah, so let's talk about photography. Asking the photographer to do a selfie or taking pictures when the photographer.
Is that okay?
No, it's a professional photographer that's hired for the bride and the groom. So don't don't interrupt their job so they can take a picture of you.
Mark,
It's an I don't.
we had a professional photographer at Mark's wedding. His name was Jeremy. He is here today. He's also our set photographer, and I think the entire family commandeered him.